Hello and welcome to another edition of Down South Shooting. And today ain't just another day of Down South Shooting, oh no. Today we're sitting down with a guy named Brother Silas, who come to know Asylum Pro Wrestling as his home for the past, what?
9 months.
9 months. He's been putting in all kinds of work, trying to learn everything he can, absorb every piece of information and knowledge every veteran throws his way. And Brother Silas contacted me, what?
2 days ago.
A few days ago, and said, hey, let's do a sit-down interview. So we're here. This is like a bonus episode, basically.
Yeah.
What's the title?
Brother Silas tells all.
Brother Silas tells all. He assured me, ladies and gentlemen, he pulls no punches. He's a man that pretty much tells the truth. Real stand-up guy. We've been sitting here just bullshitting for the last 2 hours.
Yeah,
2.5 hours.
hour and a half, something, yeah.
And we decided to sit down and bring you a show just so you know exactly what's going on in your community and basically the truth.
Think I should wear this?
Yes.
You think so? Okay.
Well, hell yeah.
All right. There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
So, tell the people, who got you into this thing known as pro wrestling?
Man, I'm like anybody else. I've been watching pro wrestling since I was a little bitty boy.
Right.
Grew up watching it with my daddy. My daddy taking me to Spartanburg every Tuesday night and seeing Jim Crockett Promotions out there, Road Warriors, Boogeyman, all Paul Jones, all those guys. And, grew up still watching it through all the Attitude Era and NWO and all that stuff. And then
how old are you?
I'll be 47 in October.
Okay, you're some years behind. I'm some years behind
Yeah.
you, but we basically watched about the same.
Oh, yeah.
Basically
Yeah.
about the same era almost.
But when I became a father, my kids started watching.
Right.
So I've got two boys. I got a daughter, she's 24, but I got two boys. They're 17 and 19 years old. My youngest, Gabe, he has autism.
Right.
And autism's on a spectrum, like a lot of people know. He's on the lower end of the spectrum, but he's got, he's kind of socially awkward and shit like that. And when COVID happened, they couldn't go to regular school. They had to go to school online. So we just continued the online school thing. Well, about a year ago, it was a year ago in July, he came to me and he's like, Dad, I want to train to be a wrestler. He loves wrestling. Bray Wyatt's his favorite wrestler. He was devastated when he died. Anyways, he said, Dad, I want to train. So I started looking around at schools. I got in touch with a friend of mine that'd been in the industry for a few years, and he introduced me to some people and stuff. And then I knew through people I'd went to school with and stuff like that about APW, and I knew Chief.
Right.
I'd met Chief when I was a teenager, and but I didn't know it was still running.
Right.
And at the time, Chad Cole had it, and a friend of mine, Dump Truck,
Yeah.
he told me, he was like, man, go up there.
Shout out to Dump
That's
Truck.
right. He said, man, go up there. He said, talk to Chad. He said, I'll send him a message. He said, you can get him signed up for the school. I said, all right, cool. So I went up there one night. We sat through a show. I sat down with Chad, handed him the deposit, and signed the waiver that night. And he started training that following Tuesday. This was on a Friday night. He's been there ever since. Done well. I mean, the kid loves it. He gets in there, sweats his ass off, and hell, he's probably lost 50 pounds since he started doing it. Well, his older brother decided he wanted a piece of the pie because he likes wrestling too, so he became a referee. And he's doing well with that, man. I mean, he's gotten bookings. He's worked in Georgia.
Who's been the main guys who he's trained with under, basically?
When he started, it was Justin Kindred running the school.
Okay. Shout out, Justin.
Justin Kindred Allen.
Who did we talk about first? I forgot to give them a shout out to.
Dump Truck?
No, we got him. First person we were talking about then. It'll come to me. Don't feel left out. I just can't think of it right now.
So, Chad.
Chad.
I mentioned Chad. Chad Cole.
Shout out. Okay.
So anyways, Justin was training him. Luke Fury had come in some and was helping with training. And there's been a couple of other guys that come in and out and everything. And then over the last, I guess, 3 months, 4 months, Brino Royce.
Okay.
the Rolls Royce of professional wrestling.
Shout out Brino.
That's right. Brino has been
outstanding,
oh
up
my
and
God.
comer.
Brino's been doing the training, and when I say these boys, I've watched, and nothing against any of the other guys that have trained them, but coming from a background, I was a football coach for several years.
Right.
There is a difference between somebody that knows the game and a coach. You can know the game all you want to, but there's only a certain type of person that can be a true coach.
Right.
And Brino is a coach, period. He expects excellence out of them kids, and I say kids, most of them are grown men, but I'm an old man, I say kids. He expects excellence out of them, and he gets them to where they want to impress him. And they come in there with that mindset of, hey, I did this last week, but I want to be better this week.
Right.
And like my son, for example, Brino has him run a mile before training. And Brino told me this a couple weeks ago, progressively, he's gotten faster on the mile every week. So that's the way it's been going.
That's exactly what you want, any kind of progress.
Right. And I got into it because of my sons. Right. I started coming up there, bringing my boys to training, and befriended the owner. Me and Chad went to school with my wife. Me and Chad became friends, and then Chad eventually sold it. And I became friends with the owner.
I remember.
Yeah, and you were there.
Yeah.
And so anyhow, I was asked to do this character,
Brother Silas.
Brother Silas, and we came up with it. I'm a big horror movie fan, and we came up with this Bray Wyatt / Kevin Sullivan / Children of the Corn type Southern preacher, and I ran with it. And
you're doing a good job. I had a few matches with the guys you managed.
Yeah, and I look, man, I've been in the music business for 30 years. I played in anything from country bands to hardcore punk bands to metal bands to whatever.
So it really wasn't that hard to make the transition, really. I mean, it was like second nature.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, being in front of people is not a big deal to me. And I enjoy it. And I found out, being a bad guy, that I enjoyed that. The booze were.
So you enjoy being a heel?
Oh my God, I love being a heel.
Baby?
I've not been baby.
Okay, it's almost the same. Oh no, because I mean it's a lot funner being a heel. I mean, that's just how it is. And every worker out there is saying, yeah, Nick. I mean, I'd rather be a heel.
I remember seeing an interview with Triple H some years ago, and he was talking about how much he loved being a heel, and he loved it more than being a babyface, because being a heel, he felt like he could interact with the crowd more. Right. Because they're throwing shit at him and hating him and cussing at him and stuff, and he can get back with them. As a babyface, slap their hands, kiss a baby, whatever, but you're really working for that sympathy. Right. As a heel, you're in their face, man. You're like,
say whatever you want.
Right.
Like a real stress reliever.
And the more you can get under their skin, the better you are.
Right.
If you can get that heat, man, and I'm not a big fan of cheap heat.
Right.
I've learned that term in this business, but I don't like cheap heat. I like that primal. I've pissed them off to the point of where they want to come over that barricade and whip my ass.
Which I'm guilty of it too. But I mean, any professional should be able to let their moves speak for themselves. You shouldn't have to say shut up or which hey, I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah,
we're in the South. Our kind of crowd, that's what they like.
Yep.
So that's what I do. But being out there in front of the crowd the first time, did you know, like, man, I want to continue this?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And I'll tell you the coolest thing about it was, it wasn't that it was that it was fun for me. But when I walked backstage that first time and both of my boys were standing there with smiles on their faces and they're like, Dad, this was great. This was great. We love this. It was something cool for me to do with my boys. Right. Look, man, I'm in my late 40s. I have no aspirations of going to, WWE or anything like that. I'm having fun with this. And, it was something cool. And the way I thought about it was, in 20 years from now, when I'm sitting around on Christmas with my sons and my daughter and my grandkids and stuff, they can look and go, hey, Dad, you remember when you used to play that crazy old preacher guy?
Right,
it's just something cool to have, And that's the way I looked at it. That's the way I viewed it. And I had fun doing it. Met a lot of cool people, met a lot of friends, some people that I hold close to my heart. You being one of them.
Thank you.
Me and you always got along, man. We always shot straight with each other, and you know.
I try to shoot straight with all of you. If you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you what I think, and if it hurts your feelings, even then I'm going to tap dance around it because I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm still going to tell you how it is. I don't want to lie to any of you. I want to tell you exactly how it is. And that's just when you ask my opinion.
My daddy always had a saying growing up, he said, always shoot people straight because feelings will grow back.
Yeah, and it'll come back to you
Yes.
if you treat people like shit.
Right.
Sometimes it'll come back, from left, right. It's like you're pretty much basically surrounded. But that's life. I truly believe in karma, man.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Hey, that's what we should call this episode.
Karma.
Karma.
Yeah, I agree because
Karma.
I immersed myself in this.
Tell the story, brother.
Listen,
I'm going to sit back and let you roll.
I immersed myself in this business.
Right.
3-4 days a week, I was doing something. Hell, 7 days a week, I was doing something with wrestling. And had no problem paying for my sons to go to training. Paid. I actually got told one time, stop paying because you're so far ahead. I was confusing the girl that kept up with the books because I was so far ahead with it.
Yeah.
Because I would pay up. Anyways,
I'm going to make sure this thing's charging.
Go right ahead.
Just keep on. I'm still here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just making sure that my phone is charged.